This is one of the weakest panels they've had. I've quite enjoyed the panels on the pre-shows and actually on the show itself. But this time all you've got is 3 stars that just don't have anything going on. Like, I don't mind 1 or 2, but usually you get a legend or just a guy we haven't seen for a while, a Booker T, a Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, someone who just hasn't been around. But this you got Miz, who you don't want to see, Mark Henry, who's and then Rey Mysterio. And the weirdest thing was they were like basically silent. Introductions to them, they just nodded. And then they just sort of spilled off with some usual WWE jargon. Really did not add anything, did not increase my anticipation for the event. So pre-show was kind of a fail this time. So hopefully the one before WrestleMania will be a lot better. But we'll see. Okay, on to the opening match, which was Big E Langston versus Jack Swagger for the Intercontinental title. Bit concerned about Big E as of late, because since we won the title off Curtis Axel, done nothing. So I'm really hoping he can get a good storyline to get his teeth into it. Promo going into this match was not a great one. I believe he basically just said, "I hope you have diapers in your side, Zip Coda, because it's not only your mouth you're going to be crapping out of." Which is not our best face sort of taunt to a heel of all time, but the crowd's still into it, and as Big E came out, there was still a big pop, which I'm quite grateful for. Jack Swagger has been hot lately. He has just been doing some amazing matches, especially the Fatal 4-Way a couple of weeks on SmackDown to get his #1 contendership was a fantastic match. And the Real Americans are just over, especially we, the people, the crowd. Even though they're meant to be heels, the crowd are still into it, and that's not a bad thing. Having 2 teams that are over gets the crowd into a match and makes it more exciting to watch. I love Zep Coulter. His promos are ridiculous. He's like a okay racist. He's just so out there and ridiculous with the stuff he says that it's not really offensive more than it is just ridiculous. But he did bring up one serious point that everyone should be taking note of. The more people that sneak across a border into a country lowers the temperature and causes polar ice storms. There weren't polar ice storms before all the immigrants came. A big point brought up by Zeb Coulter, and I hope the government will respond with an answer. As for that, it's a good solid match. Both guys, big guys, showing off power moves. Jack Swagger is really quick and agile for his size, and so is Big E. The height he gets on his splash is incredible. But yeah, standard match. Both guys look really strong. Big move of the match was a spear. Jack Swagger standing on the apron. Big E running along, spear. I thought he was just going to knock him off the apron. Big E dived through the middle rope with Swagger to the outside. Got the crowd chanting, "Holy shit." What you really want in an opener is just the crowd getting into it, and this is a good match to start a pay-per-view with. Ending segment of the ankle lock versus Big E's power. Lots of rollouts into it, away from it, just ending in a lovely big ending. I love that move. Nice, impactful, looks good, and a strong pin. After this, I hope these two can continue with a rivalry to Mania, because I think having Zep Coulter as someone for Big E to play off will help and make him a stronger performer, giving someone that's a good promo guy to help out Big E, but we'll have to see where it goes. Off to the match. Bad News Barrett. I will actually say I really, really like the podium. It does look quite impressive now. Got a massive circular base for it, long curtain hanging down. Looks good, but it's a pointless gimmick, and the sooner it stops, the better, frankly. After that, we got a nice little interview from Daniel Bryan. Just a quick get in the crowd, chanting yes as the main point of it. Getting across that he's just intense and he's going to go for the victory, which, let's face it, most of the WWE Universe wants to see. Okay, second match of the night was our tag team title match. Usos have been having some really good matches coming into this, and they've actually had a nice little build. They're not the biggest heels to go against, the Old Age Outlaws. They're really over the crowd, but their connection to Triple H keeps them heel. But frankly, they don't really play heel very often because of... Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly presents your Tag Team Champions of the World! The crowd just love that little chant. Little intro going into their matches. But they are playing sort of goofy tag team heels, and they're sort of like had some good banter with the Usos coming into this from singles matches, so I was quite excited for this match. Usos, they are really over, especially with when we say ooh, you say so, Usos! Crowd join in, kids love it, they've got lots of energy to them. Good tag match, back and forth again, both teams showing off what they can do. Road Dogg almost killed one of the Usos. I can't tell the Usos apart. They're twins. I'm not very good at this kind of thing. But Road Dogg hip tossed one of them into the turnbuckle, feet caught on the top, and they look like they literally landed on their head. Through the match there was some light CM Punk chants, but they managed to pick up the pace and that soon got drowned out. Billy Gunn had his head completely taken off with a beautiful super kick. They must have been trained by their dad, because Rikishi did some nice super kicks, especially for his size. But the Usos love that move, and it just gets their point across, especially when Billy has such a good sell for it. The ending, well, of course, watching it, bit disappointing when there's just a quick roll-up ending, but it does set up for hopefully a big rivalry going into WrestleMania. So I hope this feud continues and goes on, because I think they're looking strong together, and I think an Uso victory at Mania will get a huge pop and will be a huge start for this tag team. And actually having a new just a tag team as tag team champions will be good for the tag team division, or at least what's left of it, coming into WrestleMania. Following this match was Bad News Barrett. Again. Though quick thinking on Barrett's part, I hope, telling the crowd he's come down to the level and then insulting them because the podium didn't rise. It seems to have broken. His lovely new swanky podium, broken. But yeah, this whole thing is just... Oh! I'm British. Barrett is British, but I cannot cheer for this gimmick. I just want it to end. Match number 3, we have Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young. I didn't like them splitting these two up. I enjoyed the primetime players together, and let's be honest, Darren Young is a Marty Jannetty. When he's split away from Titus, I can't really see him doing anything. The crowd are into him now, but I can't see him really holding that attention. It's because of the whole boo Titus that Darren's getting a big push. Oh, and for Damien Sandow to lose to him is ridiculous. Anyway, match is exactly what you expect it to be. Is there really anything that can be said? It was just a standard match. Crowd are really not into it. But I love Titus O'Neil's finisher, the Clash of the Titus, from a big man, because I think it was Sky High, which used to be D'Lo Brown and Billy Kidman used to use, but Titus O'Neil, being a big man, gets nice high elevation and sit down with it. Lovely impactful move. I can see Titus doing well out of this. He's got good charisma, good interviews, and he could move on to big things. I hope he's sort of done with Darren Young and he can move on to something new. Darren Young, I can't see you sticking around very long. Sorry to say it, but see you later. And again, after this, we have Bad News Barrett. And the podium is broken. He blames it on the town. La 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 la. Just ridiculous. I don't know if WWE is just trying to like get Barrett to quit, but they're definitely making me start quit on liking him. Our fourth match of the night. Oh, the 6-man tag. The Shield versus the Wyatt. The two hottest factions in the company going at it. They teased us at Survivor Series with their standoffs. But yeah, I was so excited to watch this match. The build-up's been good. Didn't like the fact they did the same build-up sort of twice with the Shield in the ring, the Wyatts get in, the Wyatts walk away. Wish they could have saved that for like either the last one or then done something different last week. But still, the crowd are super hot for this match. This is awesome chants going on before they're even touching with just the two teams facing off. There's Wyatt chants, Shield chants, the crowd want this match and they do not disappoint. They just go at it. Shield get the upper hand initially, throw all of the Wyatts out. Sort of quite a facey reaction and quite a facey style of wrestling, which the Shield are pseudo faces in this match, but we know what they're really like. But just the atmosphere of this match is what made it just so great. And then good strong match, lots of tags. Wyatts were showing that they're a good team, lots of tags, communications. The Shield members weren't really working as a team that much. They were just showing that they were three good, outstanding wrestlers in their own right. And speaking of outstanding wrestlers, Seth Rollins, the underdog of the Shield, the one that everyone kind of forgets. He is definitely making it known that he is somebody to be watched. He stole this match, in my opinion. Was getting some of the major beatdowns, and I literally thought he was going to die. Luke's got him on the top rope, ready for a German suplex. Throws Seth, he flips over, head facing the ground, but manages to turn it and land on his feet. The crowd scream for him, and he does milk it. He does milk it, and he deserves it. Every right to. Another amazing spot. He's grabbing the ropes. Luke yanks his legs. Seth midair manages to turn it around into a nice enziguri kick. Dive out to the outside of the ring, over the top rope plancha, somersaulting, literally landing in a sitting senton. This guy had some of the best moves, some of the biggest pops of the night. Ambrose. Everyone knows Ambrose was sort of the first guy of the Shield that looked good, and he's not a big spot guy, but it's just his mannerisms and just how he talks is just so fascinating. I sort of liken him to the Joker from the Dark Knight films. He's just a bit unstable, you know. He can have a really nice unhinged character, like especially one point where he dives on Bray Wyatt and he is just swinging these shots in before they're even hit the ground. So they get to a point where Seth is being threatened by the Wyatts, going to get thrown through the announce table. Ambrose comes in for the save, and then him and Bray start battling it out, and they battle out into the crowd, and Ambrose was never seen again. I would like to know what kept Ambrose down, but you never see it. So hopefully we'll find out on Raw what happened with that. In the meantime, Seth is teamed up on, and they stand on the normal announce table and double chokeslam him through the Spanish announce table. This leaves Roman Reigns by himself. And he did not disappoint. He is becoming so good lately, laying in Superman punches left and right, but numbers games getting the advantage of him in the Sister Abigail. But he powers out. They do such a nice slow build. He powers out, slowly lifts up, and just screams in Bray Wyatt's face. Has a little bit of a battle back, but unfortunately doesn't last long. Numbers overwhelm him, and Sister Abigail is hit, pinned, 1, 2, 3. But he did such a good performance. I don't think it has made the Shield really look weak, but it has shown the cracks in the Shield are there. They were all doing sort of good singles wrestling. They weren't really working as a team, but all of them looked really strong, and the Wyatts looked really strong as a unit, going into their future feud with John Cena, which is what they really need. But yeah, this is such a good match, such a good build-up, and will lead to hopefully a few good matches with the different guys. After the match, we had an interview with Christian, and this guy is so underutilized by the WWE. He went off to TNA, showed he could be a main event player. He is so good on a microphone. I don't think he should be champion, but if you give him, now, especially now he's heel, give him Big E Langston. Christian can help that guy become good. Christian is one of your veterans. Give him young up-and-comers to have a little rivalry with. He can fill in that Jericho role and just give them someone to have their first feud with who can take them through good matches and just be a nice, consistent performer. Okay, our 5th match of the night. I had no idea what was even going to happen. I knew a couple of weeks ago Naomi seemed to be in line for a title match, and then Oksana broke her face. Dropped a knee into her face, I think broke the orbital bone, which I believe is around the eye. And then nothing's really happened with the Divas since then. They let Oksana wrestle other people, so apparently she's not in trouble for breaking a face and just being an unsafe worker. But AJ comes out, explains this in the nicest way of literally, oh, she broke her face. And yeah, AJ is so much better than most of the Divas on the roster. She can cut promos, she can wrestle. You've got Natalya. Why is Natalya not in this role? She's sort of friends through Total Divas with Cameron. No, that's the one that's wrestling Naomi. So she could have stepped up, but anyway, we get Cameron, and she comes out to the sound of a crowd not caring. No one really likes her. She doesn't really have anything good. They named her DDT, the girl bye, which I think is a bit disrespectful. Jake the Snake's going into the Hall of Fame. Do we really want to give his DDT to a girl that just can't carry a match by herself? And that's evident in this match. She's not very good. This match is disappointing. AJ's the only good thing about it. Cameron even tries getting the crowd on her side by mocking AJ skipping, and skips around the ring again, sound of no one caring. But it does lead to AJ getting the advantage, and then saying the line, "This is how you skip," and the crowd give a little pop for that. Ending of this match is confusing. AJ and Cameron are fighting outside the ring. Tamina Snuka just super kicks AJ from the. I don't know if it was just because of a bad camera angle or they're in the wrong position, but she didn't look like she was aiming for Cameron at all. Just super kicks AJ in the face. Cameron throws her in the ring for a 1-2. Tamina pulls him back out, pulls Cameron out, and then clotheslines Cameron for the DQ. Why was the kick on AJ not a DQ? That does not make any sense to me. If a clothesline on the outside gets a DQ, why would a super kick not get a DQ? Just because Tamina Snuka's out there with AJ, why did AJ not win? Because she got super kicked in the face. Again, some good WWE sort of planning there. Anyway, I was just glad the match was over. But this does mean hopefully they'll split up AJ and Tamina Snuka. Those two could have a good match, and it'll be a bit different because of Tamina Snuka's size and power. It's going to be sort of quite an uphill battle for AJ the champion to overcome. So that could actually be an interesting program going into WrestleMania. After their match, we had bad news. Barrett, yet again. Okay, we're on to match number 6, and it is a doozy. Dave Batista versus Alberto Del Rio. I'm not a huge Del Rio fan. He's not really interested me. I liked him a little bit as a face. I think he has lost a lot without Ricardo. Ricardo was his main gimmick, and it just made him more bearable. I'm not a fan of Alberto. But Batista, he was okay back 5 years ago. He was okay. He had a few good matches. He never really had a good persona until literally his last run, when he was doing this spotlight gimmick and doing his sort of complaining to the crowd. That was the only sort of good mic work and that I ever remember from him. He's been in good matches, but not great. And the crowd aren't really on his side. He comes out to the pop for the music. I really like his music, so there's always that initial pop. But then it turns into boos. Or more specifically, it turns into bootistas. Which was one of my favourite chants from this match. So Batista comes out to our audience of boos. And then Del Rio comes out with a neck brace on and a cane. Not a cane. Crutch. There we go. Hobbles down to the ring. Blames Batista and then attacks him with the crutch. And he gets a good reaction from this. The crowd are cheering Del Rio for attacking a man with a crutch. A man that is not very popular, using a weapon, tricking another man, and he is still getting cheered for beating down this poor man. I think this pretty much says it all. This is literally the same thing Del Rio had last year with Dolph Ziggler. When every time Dolph was hitting Del Rio, he was getting cheered. Every time Del Rio was attacking Dolph, he was getting booed. Yeah, Batista is having that exact same reaction. This is our guy heading into WrestleMania. Wins with Batista bomb. Crowd continue booing. Batista really looks like he's letting these boos get to him. He does not look comfortable with it. It looks like it's frustrating him. But he deserves them. I don't want to boo him just because he's not Daniel Bryan. I knew Daniel Bryan wasn't really going to be in the Rumble match. And we knew Batista was going to win it. I'm not going to blame him for that, but I just thought he looked awful in that match. He does not look in ring shape. And again, this was a really quick match, and at the end of it, he's still quite... I think the biggest show was at the Royal Rumble, when it came down to Batista and Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns has been in there for a while. He's beat people down, and he's standing up. He's staring at Batista. And then Batista's over by the ropes, not really selling. Just give me a minute there, kid. Woo! He's just doesn't look good, and I don't know if he's shrunk. He just looks a lot smaller than he used to be. Not just muscle-wise, just height. I didn't realise how short Batista was. Anyway, this is probably one of the most interesting matches of the night, and we'll have to see what the WWE does, because Randy Orton with the reactions he's getting, and Batista definitely with the reactions he's getting. That's our main event for WrestleMania 30. And the first WrestleMania and first pay-per-view to be on the WWE Network. This is our main event. Oh, WWE, please figure something out. My way to fix this would be triple threat match. Get Daniel Bryan in the match. That will at least mean the crowd are going to be cheering for the match. Even if Daniel Bryan loses... and that'll get a horrible reaction for your ending of WrestleMania. But still, at least the match itself would actually have cheers in it. And the main event. I frankly thought this is one of the best Elimination Chamber matches we've had in a while. All the stars got to have a good good spots in it. The main one who actually didn't was Randy Orton. The last two people in the match was Cena and Orton, which I think is good, because that gave the other 4 stars more chances to impress the crowd, giving the people that the crowd were, let's just say, a little bit tired of, Orton and Cena, the least time in the ring. But yeah, it was just a good match. They were taking some nasty bumps on that steel, getting thrown into the cage, getting thrown through pods. Particularly Sheamus had that one. Randy Orton came out into the match and did genius heel move, get back in your pod. Because all 6 stars are in the ring at the same time. They did a lovely build to it, had a really good camera angle on Sheamus's face after Randy Orton. Camera angle was really good on Sheamus as he was walking away after Randy Orton teased him hiding in the pod. And bro kicking his way into it and just beating down Orton. Lovely spot. Speaking of that, Christian got the high spot of the match. Managing to get thrown into the side, save himself, climb up onto a pod, and then big splashing on Sheamus, and Christian actually pinned someone. Christian got a win. Not actually won the match, but he pinned someone 1, 2, 3. This is a big step, because Christian's not exactly done that for quite a while. He's the only person going into the chamber that hadn't beaten Orton. But yeah, and with him pinning Sheamus, that gives Sheamus and Christian a nice little reason to have a feud, along with the miscommunications bro kick before Christian turned heel. So these two going into WrestleMania could be some good matches. Cesaro. My God, this man has had some just phenomenal matches on SmackDown and Raw going into this. Particularly his match at Orton and Cena, they were just beautiful matches. I thought a lot of this guy. I've watched him in NXT and just coming round, and he is just such a good talent. He was lost for a while, but then the partnering up with Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter just lit them on fire. It really did well, that team, and has really brought them both up in their game. And the Cesaro swing is so popular with the crowd. It is just phenomenal. Right. Oh, yes. The freeway spots. A couple of really good ones. Daniel Bryan's going for the Indian Deathlock, so he's got his leg hooked around where he'd usually then bridge back. But then Cesaro comes at him, ducks it, gives him a Northern Light suplex, head in, bridge over, hits that on Cesaro, then carries on to his submission move on Sheamus. Beautiful spot. Cesaro again, Christian and Cena had quite a funny one. Teasing the big swing, had Christian ready for it, but Cena clotheslines Cesaro, which then launches Christian into the corner. I thought that was I'd not actually seen that before in my time watching wrestling. That match actually made me chuckle. That spot, sorry, actually made me chuckle quite a bit. And then the other one was Daniel Bryan was about to get AA'd by John Cena, and again, Cesaro, German suplex them both. Oh, I just can't say enough good things about Cesaro. Like, some of the moves he does, especially when he does that second rope suplex from the outside to the inside. That is a beautiful move and just a show of sheer power. But yeah, really good match. Everyone's given it their all. Christian, as I said, got the pin on Sheamus, and Christian got eliminated. Cesaro gets eliminated, and then that leaves us with our final three. Blackout, Wyatts appear in the ring, which is quite impressive how quickly they can get in. I know there must be a hatch somewhere, but still, it's quite work to get three big guys up and in there, in the chamber through some sort of hatch. Beat down Cena. Cena gets pinned. Kane comes down, is like, oh, you've been a very naughty boy. Wyatts, and sends them away, but for some reason he has to get inside the chamber to really make sure they're gone. And then Daniel Bryan takes this opportunity to attack Kane because Kane's been screwing him over lately. This leads to the distraction, the RKO, and I had my hands on my head as the referee counted 1, 2, and then I heard the cheers because he kicked out. My God, I thought it was over. I will be 100% honest. I loved this ending bit between Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan because there were so many just near falls, and just they had me completely into it. Just 100% I was with them every time there was a count. I was biting my nails. I had that glimmer of hope that Daniel Bryan could do it. But no, of course, Kane comes up, smacks Daniel Bryan into the RKO, and we still have Randy Orton versus Batista as our main event for WrestleMania. A little bit disappointing with the ending, but it all works. It all works storyline-wise. I'm just so intrigued to this Randy Orton-Batista match for WrestleMania, at how this can even happen. So hopefully I'll keep you informed, and I'll tell you about my thoughts and theories going into it through the coming weeks. My name is Ricky Edwards, and this is my Black and White Wrestling Review Show, TTFN.